Hey everyone, it is Matea Metcalf doing a speech on the timeline of student athletes. The purpose of this speech is to inform my audience of the difficulties and pressures of being a student athlete. I will talk about the difficulties with student athletes' busy schedules and how their mental health oftentimes struggles because of their high pressured lives. Imagine spending hours a day at practice, having early morning and late night team workouts multiple times a day, if not every day, traveling hours to games or tournaments. Well, most student athletes don't have to imagine. They face this while also balancing school life, social life, and oftentimes a job. I can speak for myself here as a student athlete at Rkrjeidnen that the schedule of student athletes is intense, and being friends with other sports teams, I can truly say no matter what sport you play, your average day-to-day schedules are very, very busy. Think of your favorite college football player. How many people are cheering him on in the stands? The pressure they feel while they're on the field. Well, that's not the only time they feel this pressure. The pressure for athletes doesn't fade when the stand gets empty. The pressure follows them all week, all day, every day. Today we'll cover the pressure of being a student athlete, the average sleep schedule of student athletes, and the depression rate of student athletes. The pressures of being a student athlete are most of the time unseen by the public eye. The public eye only sees the winning touchdown or the winning goal point. They're unable to see how hard it is to be up late hours of the night completing assignments just to be up early in the mornings for lifts or runs. In the article, The Challenges of High Performance Student Athletes, they did a research study using 9 elite athletes, interviewing them on being a student athlete. The results suggested that athletes had developed their own distinct approach towards training management. Most subjects had experienced setbacks in their study and athletic performance due to overtraining or burnout. We're able to see from this research study that even the most pristine athletes in the U.S. struggle balancing the workload of being a student and being an athlete. Oftentimes, their grades are also affected. And this research study was done by Bradley J. Conway. Now we're going to talk about the average sleep schedule of a student athlete. I can speak from my own personal experience that I oftentimes put getting a good night's rest second to schoolwork or early morning runs. A typical day for me means getting up between 5:30 or 6 a.m. for a run before my 8 a.m. classes, then going to the gym between 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. to get my lift in, depending on when my classes are done for that day, and then mandatory 3:30 to 5:30 practice with the team, and then Tuesdays and Thursdays having a mandatory lift between 6:45 and 8 p.m. Oftentimes I then work from 7 to 10 p.m. closing at the Rkrjeidnen gym. With most of my days starting at 5:30 and not ending till 10, I have to find time after 10 p.m. to finish my assignments, still have a social life, or get any other priorities done. Most of the time, I'm not going to bed till 1 or 2 in the morning, which leaves me somewhere between 4 and 5 hours of sleep before my first alarm goes off. Stanford University did a test study on 628 student athletes between 29 different varsity sports teams around campus. The study showing our findings indicate that college athletes experience poor sleep quality, regularly obtaining adequate hours of sleep, experience daytime sleepiness. These results have important implications leading to increased consequences on mental and physical health, and they increase injury risk. The article then goes on to state that over 42% of student athletes experience poor sleep. And this study was done by Stanford University, and you can find it online at Sleep Health Volume 4. Lastly, let's go over the depression rates of student athletes. Using evidence found by Sacred Heart University, it showed that college athletes have a lower depression rate than normal college students, but have a higher suicide rate. It's believed that college athletes have a higher suicide rate because they don't want to face the fact that they're struggling with depression to be seen as a weakness. The study also found that college athletes have a higher drinking rate and substance abuse rates than regular students. And this was done by Sacred Heart, and you can find it at The Athletic Insight. In my speech, we have taken a closer look at the timeline of being a student athlete and what a day in the life looks like in their high-pressure lives. Hopefully, this has increased your knowledge of student athletes and understanding why depression and anxiety are so high. Thank you.